So what can you expect from Throne and Liberty in 2025? In this video I will give you a good overview of what you can look out for Amazon to publish in the first few months of the year. We already know a lot about the content that has been released in Korea, and most of it will make its way to the global version this year. The Koreans have also been given a roadmap and a lot of things we will probably get at the same time. There's a lot of information available, so let's see what TL can offer you in 2025. The biggest major content we will be getting at the beginning of the year is without a doubt the major update Talandre. This feels much like an expansion you would expect from other games, but completely for free. So Talandre will double the size of the map and introducing plenty of new points of interest. And I can already tell you that this map extension just feels really good. It has something to do with the music, but also like how they designed all the areas. It just has a really good atmosphere, and running around and doing some quests just feels really good. Additionally, you are getting also a new main story quest, which is pretty solid from MMORPG. It will give you around 10 hours of gameplay if I remember correctly. Though don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere in that range. With the expansion, your maximum level will be also increased to level 55. But here don't expect a huge leveling phase or something similar. The additional 5 levels most people will reach in one day. So there's really no grind behind that. Once you reach level 55, you will unlock the new 3-star dungeons. So we started with 6 1-star dungeons, then we got 5 2-star dungeons, and now we will be getting 5 new 3-star dungeons. And those will likely drop our new tier 2 gear. So all the gear we currently have is tier 1 gear, and the new gear will replace that completely. So we are not sure yet if we will only get tier 2 armor and weapons or if we will also get tier 2 accessories at the same time. So for the Koreans it was separate, so they first got only the armor and the weapons, but I can see a world where Amazon wants us to catch up and will just publish everything. Besides that, the update will also introduce new open world dungeons, new world bosses and so on. Essentially everything you currently have on the old map, but now expanded on the new areas. Okay, that's all for the Talandre update. I expect it to drop either end of January or latest mid of February. The next update coming in February will be the one-man dungeons, and based on the comments I've seen, it seems like a lot of people are excited for these dungeons, which is interesting because it's solo content in an MMORPG. But it just shows that many players enjoy experiencing MMORPGs on their own, and it's just perfectly fine. What we currently know about these dungeons are that these dungeons will have some trash mobs and some bosses that you have to kill. You will be able to get gear and runes from those dungeons. There will be 8 different bosses rotating on a weekly basis. What I really like is that these dungeons will have up to 5 different difficulty levels. With better loot available, the higher the difficulty. But of course you will be limited on how many dungeons you can do per week or per day. I just hope that they make these bosses challenging. It shouldn't feel like another repetitive content that I have to complete on a daily or weekly basis. Because we have for sure enough of those content. So we are of course 100% sure that these will launch in sync with the Korean version, but there is really no reason they shouldn't. In April in Korea we will be getting the new 12-man raid, which will be by far the hardest PvE content in the game. So you will be able to clear those raids on a weekly basis. And the developers highlighted that teamwork will be key here. But there will be also 2 difficulty levels for the raids, a normal version and a hard version. Alongside the raids, Korea will also introduce a new tier of weapons and armor. So right now they have tier 2 items, which we will be getting with the Talandre update. But these raids will introduce an even higher tier. So for me this is really exciting, because besides good PvP, I just love hard PvE content. I'm assuming that this raid will be released simultaneously in Korea and global around April. Because originally NCSoft planned to release the raid in January. My assumption is that they moved it to April, that we are able to catch up on Korea. Because we are just getting tier 2 items and we need the possibility to get the gear and play with the gear before we're actually getting new gear. But I think especially for the raids it's really important that we are not getting spoiled. And in the long run it's just really important that both versions are synchronized. so speeding up here the synchronization process a little bit is perfectly fine for me. So who knows, maybe we are already in sync with Korea in April. The last piece of content we are getting in the first few months of 2025 are the Interserver sieges, which will be between the biggest alliances from each server in a 1v1 or a 1v1v1. These will also differ from the usual sieges because each alliance will have both an attack and a defense phase. Usually defending is much easier, so the setup should provide a better way to measure how strong one alliance is compared to another one. Of course, we have to wait and see how the exact rules are and how this event plays out. So this is actually the new content we are getting in the beginning of 2025, but there are also some system reworks and new vertical progression systems. The first system that is getting a complete overhaul is the mastery system. Right now you can level up each weapon individually up to level 20. For each level you get 1 point that you can spend on a simple mastery tree. It's just a really basic system. With the rework, however, you will be able to level each weapon up to level 200 and specialize in 4 different categories within a completely redesigned mastery tree. And the new passive you will unlock will be much more powerful than before. For example, you will be able to make your healing skills deal damage now. Those kind of changes will allow for much more build diversity. And the masteries will feel much more powerful overall. There's a lot more to the system, so if you're interested, I've linked you a video from Welps in the video description. He does here a great job of summarizing the developer's full explanation, so be sure to check that out. The next system that has been reworked and turned into a new vertical progression system is the Guardian system. The Guardian is your ultimate ability, but currently there is barely a choice when it comes to which Guardian to pick. Only 2 to 3 Guardians are actually viable. And since Throne of Liberty loves vertical progression systems, they are introducing a leveling system for the Guardians. As you level them up, not only will they become stronger, but they will also gain active abilities while you are transformed. This is just really exciting and should make them feel much more like an actual ultimate ability. Of course, we will have to wait and see how it all plays out in practice, but I think they will be a great addition to the game. The upgrade material for the Guardians will come from the new raid launching in April, so I assume this system will be released around the same time. Okay, these are the systems we will most likely be getting in the first few months of 2025. Later in the year we will probably also get then the Nebula Island and the artifacts. So the Nebula Island is just a PvP island where you can farm artifacts, and the artifacts are just your new vertical progression system. But I think this is just something further down the line, so I think really not important right now. That's what we can expect from the first half of 2025 based on what we know so far. But hopefully we will be also getting an official roadmap soon. Personally, I don't think it looks too bad, but one thing I really feel is missing are the battlegrounds. Not seeing them on the Korean roadmap was a huge disappointment for me. Right now many players enjoy PvP, but mostly more on a casual level. From my perspective, and I talk to a lot of other people, battlegrounds are absolutely essential in any MMORPG. But what about you? How do you feel about the upcoming content for 2025? What excites you the most and what do you think is still missing? If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see ya in the next one.